Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Long time no see, Susan.
Oh, I've had an adventure for the last 35 minutes. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay, we're calling the meeting to order. Okay, helps to have my mic on, okay. The meeting of the Parks, Recreation, Human Services, and Public Safety Committee meeting. Joining us online are the two other committee members, Susan Honda and Lydia Cefados. And also we have here in the chamber, Council President Linda Kochmar and Council Member Jack Dovey and Paul McDaniel. And let's go ahead and get started. First off, before anything else, we're going to be item D on the agenda, report on the PAC operations. It will be postponed until the September meeting. And with that,
Why is that?
Stacia is sick, and so it would be basically Autumn presenting what's already in the packet anyway that you can see. So, okay. All right. Okay. So, is there any public comment? No. Okay, no public comment. We'll go on to committee business. Item A, approval of the summary minutes of June 10th, 2025.
I move approval of the minutes of June 10th, 2025.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The vote is unanimous. That is approved. On to item B, the Arts Commission semi-annual report. And with that, we have Karen Brigado, and with her is Jan Barber.
Thank you for remembering our names. I am Karen Brigado, I'm the chair, and Jan is with me, she's the vice chair today. We wanted to give you our semi-annual report of the Arts Commissions, our successes, hopes, and dreams. I have to first off say that I have been chair for about 6 months and about 7 days, and I read through what I needed to do. We needed to give an annual report every year, and I realized no annual report has been given since before COVID. So I am rectifying that now, and my apologies for not doing it sooner. My arts commissioners have been productive. We have very good meetings, and we have 5 staff members who are with us. We meet at the senior room at the community center. I actually have seen seniors walk in and walk out because it's their room. I would request, first off, that if the Hylebos room is open, we would like our meetings there. We want to be like the Diversity Commission, the Parks and Rec Commission, Human Services, Civil Service Commission meetings. We would like to be in the Hylebos room. Not only that, it's close to City Hall, close to where we ask people to come. Invite our guests in, help with recording. That's just our first ask. But over the years, we have had speakers. We have had Steve Groom, and we have had Keith Niven. Leanne Geyer, the For Culture person, has come and talked to us about For Culture grants. Anne Michelle Hart about the public market. We have had visits from Susan Honda. Thank you, Susan. Jack Walsh. Linda Kochmar has attended. We have also had the Environmental Services ask about our input on their arts projects, both the storm drains and the garbage boxes. Public Works Department and Parks and Rec have also spoken with us about their arts projects upcoming. And we are so happy to consult and to see that different departments have also seen the value of creative works. The Arts Commission, along with the Senior Diversity Commission, are now recognized on the biennial budget. I keep saying this, and it's just phenomenal that we are on page 357. And thank you to Mr. Groom, who is not here today, but he made us understand that our funds come from the general fund. We were able to take those funds and create a budget, and Along with grants and sponsorships, we are able to get an income statement, cash flow, if you will. We created this statement for tracking to see where we are. And of course, it is similar to the senior commission's tracking as well. So we're trying to have consistency. Finally, it enables us to see what we spend during the year and what is left over, carry it to the next year, if we have anything left over. Thank you for putting up with putting us on the biennial budget. And of course, I have talked to you over the years, about 6 years, about our budget. I'm not going to talk about it tonight because I'm going to be focusing on our successes. For the past 25 years, we have been given a grant, contracts for services that we have renamed into the Federal Arts Grants. $42,000 a year, that's over 80% of our budget. See, we compare with other cities, but we won't compare tonight, except Auburn gives $40,000 and $100,000, $140,000, just so you can compare. We are strengthening the arts grants. We have improved them. They are shortened in an application process. We use the Rubik method to quantify our judging. We have a timetable of awards and after action reports. It's all available online, and I hear it's now online right now. It is July 1st through August 15th. Everybody can apply that has a performing group anywhere, choral groups, theaters. We even had one year the Pacific Islanders with their cedar bark weaving, and it is all available this afternoon online, which is a great success for us. Yay. We are asking our staff to put it on social media because every city puts it on social media, their grants. And I notice on Channel 21, the Federal Arts channel, the Federal channel, that the Arts Commission is mentioned. All the commissions are mentioned in case anybody wants to join. That's seriously out of date. I would ask that to be reviewed as well, because we have members on there that have long since moved on. So what else? Oh, we're grateful for Judge Larson and the Arts in the Courts, What Liberty Means to Me. We just had awarding at one of the last city council meetings. That's always fun, and the kids come from all over and display their arts in the courts. Our traffic graphics is going strong. We have a partnership with the public schools. So far, our last few boxes have been covered by high school students. We have one outside of Decatur High School and Todd Beamer High School. They've both been wrapped. We have a colorful box that's been wrapped by Pacific Highway and Dash Point Road. It's actually by a professional artist. And we are having one of the kids through the public schools also cover a box at First Avenue, where that Goddard School is. Goddard School, right there. And we have actually just worked out a partnership with the Historical Society to cover the box at 356th and Pack Highway. We want to turn that into looking like the Brook Lake House, which of course has its own history of being our first speakeasy. And I just think that would be so fun to do that. The Arts Commission sponsors our Arts Alive program on the red wall at the PAC. We sponsor the Red, White, and Blue Arts tent that was just at the park for 4th of July. We support Summer Sounds concerts, and of course we provide cookies and cocoa at the holiday tree lighting, as we do every year. Our latest accomplishment over the last 3 years, of course, has been Arts Explosion Festival. It's our biggest, and we give our thanks to one of the commissioners, Evetta Felsenberg, who thought up this idea about 6 or 7 years ago and has seen it played out. It is unbelievable, but a total of 1,119 people came through the door just to see art, and that's wild. We thank all of the grants. We thank over 20 sponsors that help support that event. We advertise the Performing Arts Center. Whenever we have any advertising, they're always centered. And of course, That is why the artists come. They love the Performing Arts Center. They love being in there. They walk in with their art. I say, take a step to the left, and they look out and see that view. It's really special. Yes, we do have white glove treatment for them. We treat them quite well, and I want that to continue.
And you could mention the music.
Oh, yes, and the music on Saturday, we have such varied music from a bagpiper to a new age singer to a harpist to her Marine Hills jam. It's a lot of fun on Saturday with so many different music. And also, we found this year that this is a tourist draw. We've had people come from out of town in a bus because they heard it was for free. We would love next year to be able to entertain a tourism enhancement grant because we want to reach every part of the state of Washington and the Portland area because that's where the artists come from. Our special projects on our work plan presently are all unfunded. They are. The Arts Explosion Festival was listed as a special project until we received the ARPA funds, and then it moved up onto one of the funded programs. We have under the special projects one called diversion programs, and it's named that specifically for that reason. It's a diversion, I know, but we want to address some social issues in Federal Way through art. There's crime and mental health problems. We want people to create. We want to build community, civic pride. We want them to pick up a paintbrush rather than a needle. We want them to work at center stage rather than gang activity. 9 out of 10 people on the street don't even know what center stage is. We would like everyone in Federal Way to know what center stage is. Our goal, of course, in the Arts Commission is to bring people together for creative thought. Of course, we want asphalt art. We definitely believe in the Bloomberg Foundation study that shows that asphalt art, painting of the streets, intersections, painting of crosswalks, electrical boxes, they lessen crime, they lessen graffiti, they increase drivers' awareness of stop lines for pedestrians, they decrease accidents at intersections. It's been shown, and the study has been proven. There are streets in Seattle that have been painted, and they see the same thing there. I will send this study out to every one of you if you want to read the study. We are also going to be having murals in Federal Way. I have to thank, he's not here, but I have to thank Keith Niven for telling the Arts Commission when he came to visit that we can paint and paint away. So we're going to be putting in those murals. I know some of the blank walls are owned by private owners. We will reach out to them. They can mark it within code. And more importantly, we're going to be creating approved art on the wall. I can't imagine some private owner not wanting art on his wall. I personally know of artists right here in Federal Way that would like a chance to be able to have their art on any wall around here. We thank Sound Transit and Federal Way Public Schools and Harbor Freight for bringing us our first murals, let alone, I hope Federal Way will get on the ball and start putting a mural up. The Arts Commission wants to celebrate the FIFA World Cup coming to Federal Way. It was June 11th through July 19th. The Arts Fund, Federal Way has already thought of putting up a big Jumbotron TV broadcast on the side of their building to show some of the games. We are thinking, well, everybody sees the Lake Haven water tower that's down there, and everybody thinks, why don't we paint that to say, welcome to Federal Way? Lake Haven has already told us that they're not going to be spending some $750,000 to paint that, and that's okay. What I thought of doing is projection mapping. I saw this when I went to Europe, on a cathedral wall, projection mapping. It's physically just projection mapping is a digital camera and audio set up to display on the water tower itself. The performance can be a graphic program. It has music in the background. It can say, "Welcome to Federal Way," historic pictures showing how Federal Way came to be, the tourist attractions that are here. The possibilities are endless. The costs are between $150,000, $175,000, but to be broadcast over the time of FIFA would be a big draw for this city. There is one by one of the companies here years ago. They put in a 2-week show on one of the silos downtown Seattle. It had a huge draw. I don't know of any other city around us that has project mapping, but it would be something unusual and only in Federal Way. So we need also a new art pamphlet. The Arts Commission is involved in several community involvements in having tables at each event. We want to, again, sponsor artists at the Dumas Bay Artists Retreat. We have in the past. We need to spearhead that again and get that working. We would like to have a joint commission meeting with all the commissioners once a year. I know last year we got cake. Not that we're looking forward to cake again, but maybe. Our goal, of course, is to share a schedule. Share a schedule so we're not overlapping. We need to share assets so we're not overlapping. Share financial information because we're one big happy family. We need to give purpose to our experiences as commissioners. Other cities have this. All the cities around us have this. We need it here too. We commissioners give our time, our resources, our human capital to the city, and we would like to experience everything that has to give and share with everybody else. The goal of the Arts Commission, of course, is to bring people together, to be creative, and to build community. And that's where we stand today. Thank you. Oh, sure.
Thank you very much for your report. It was very detailed. Do we Jan, okay, go ahead.
My part will be very quick. We have changed some things so that more information can flow to us as arts commissioners. Part of it, the feedback system that normally has been written up, and now it also is routed to us when the final invoice is put together by the nonprofits, and they do their final write-up. We could call it an after-action report. We have made some changes, especially we have a new member, and he's been very much promoting them. We've made changes to the actual application. We learned that some of the arts groups had to hire artists to do the
application.
To do the listing of the president of each nonprofit, the vice president, the treasurer and all that, that chart. And instead of a chart, we're asking for just list. We made things simpler and clearer, and we're hoping that perhaps we have an idea that we would like to have the reports, the minutes, the agendas lined up in a streamlined and easy to access system. And we're part of a subcommittee. You know, there's always has to be somebody plugging along, making it smoother. And unfortunately, some of that has landed in my lap.
Some of it has.
But I want to thank you all for being supportive. We have had to make changes, but they've been welcomed, and they're opening the door for us to understand more of what's going on.
Yes, they have been.
Okay.
Thank
All right, thank you, Karen. Thank you, Jan. And we have Councilmember Honda has her hand up for a question.
Sure.
Thank you. Thanks for being here tonight. I have a question on the wind phone down at Dumas Bay. Do you know the status of that and where it's going, when it will be installed and open to the public?
Yes, we were actually told, it was through the Parks and Rec Department, and they told us about it. It's actually a phone offset from the trail that goes through, that's well-used trail. Just a phone by a tree, little overhang above. I have had emails into Jason Gerwin, who I think is on vacation, and to know the status on that. He seems to think he's got a plan in mind. I'd love to see this plan.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening with that because I see that tree and no phone has gone around it. I know he's got a phone, a black old rotary dial phone, and it's going to go up sometime. So I hope it's soon, and I hope it's pretty much as we thought it would be.
Right, because we wanted it in a secluded area so that
Right.
it could be a private event for those wanting to use it.
Mm-hmm.
My other, I'd like to thank you for the work you've done, especially with keeping the court art program alive.
Yeah.
I started that years ago, about 10 years ago, and I'm glad that it's still alive and still going strong. And thank you for doing that. Thank you for the judges for doing that. And I'd just like to thank you for the work you do. I think the Arts Explosion has been amazing for the city and will just continue to grow and will be a signature event for the city of Federal Way. And thank you so much for that.
Thank you. We're hoping that Judge Bales continues. He said he would with the arts in the courts. And
Okay.
thank you for supporting us for Arts Explosion. It's wonderful to see everybody there. Thanks. Any other questions?
First off, do you think we can get some type of report on the wind phone? Soon?
Yeah, it's in progress right now. We've been a little slammed with some massive events, as you know, that most of you were at. And that is huge, but it is in progress, and I anticipate it relatively soon.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Good, thank you.
And Council Member McDaniel.
Yeah, thanks you guys coming in tonight and speaking to us. My question is, I see a lot of the artwork on the side of the roads and stuff. How would I go about, if I'm just a citizen, to find out who actually did the art, what the art's background is, any information about the actual art we see? Like, how do we find that?
You like the electrical boxes and stuff like that?
Yeah, the utility boxes, or
Right.
even though some of the stuff we put up is down at Dumas Bay, or I go to the PAC and stuff. The PAC's a little bit easier because there is some name information usually, but a lot of times I'll look at them like, this is awesome, and I have no clue how to get any more information
Yeah.
on it.
And some of them have been done by third graders.
Some of them have been. Dumas Bay has a couple of totem poles in the middle. Nobody knows who that's by. We have on our City of Federal Way website, under the Arts Commission page, down at the bottom, a pictorial of all of the art throughout Federal Way. When I tried to get it the last couple of days, it said page not found.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to it. I hope it's back and running soon. But everything is cataloged in there. And that's why, thank you for mentioning that, we need a new arts pamphlet to provide everybody information about where all of the art lies here in Federal Way. Thank you.
All right. Well, with that, perhaps it'd have better distribution if it wasn't, rather than a physical arts pamphlet, if we just made that page that you're mentioning, promote it more so people know that it's
Right.
that it's there and accessible.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have links that make it very simple.
Yeah, and we did have one arts commissioner that felt that that page with all of the flip books should be up first off on the main page of the City of Federal Way website, to show everybody that we have some creativeness in us somewhere. So it is important, and we're very sad that it's been down for a while, but I hope it's not lost. I'm sure it's there somewhere.
Right. All right. Thank you. Susan Honda has another question.
Sure.
Thank you. So when I was on the Arts Commission, we put together the pamphlet on the public art in Federal Way. And people were rather surprised by how much public art we had at the time. I know we have more now, and I think it would be a really good idea to get that back up and going, especially with all of the utility boxes that have been done.
Oh, yeah.
And that big artwork that has come into play in the last 10 years. We do have public art throughout the city, and people need to know that it's there, and that they should go look at it and see what it is.
You are so correct. We do. We have so much art here. If anybody has just toured downtown Auburn, they have statues on the side of their streets, murals up, all of this art right just downtown. I would love a downtown that is like that, to have open art that everyone can see. And a pamphlet would be something that we would just love to put together again.
I would love to see that kind of art too. You know, you go down to Puyallup and there's art, and then you consider what their tax base is with all of the car dealerships, and the same with Auburn, and we don't have quite the same budget
I
that
know,
they do,
and-
unfortunately.
yeah.
So
But
I mean,
Auburn-
if you know of anybody that wants to do something that'll bring massive tax dollars into Federal Way, please share.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And some of that'll go for art. So,
the art down in Puyallup along the streets used to be a private art organization in the city. It was not a city of Puyallup event.
Really? I didn't know.
So, yeah, it was kind of cool. It was just private folks going out there and putting their statues up.
interesting.
There has been artists who live right around here that would love to put up just a stencil, and that way we could invite other groups in. Phenomenal She, Progress Pushers, the Federal Black Collective, Key Club, the Boys and Girls Club, anybody in, to just paint it, put their names on. We have fantastic ideas of how we can address the grand staircase. It has actually 3 staircases that come down. The first one, the one in the middle, have school kids decorate tiles, put the tiles there like a motion of water, because underneath their feet there begins the High Libos waterway. We have lots of ideas, and we would love to present some of these to you in formal form. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of other ideas.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, thank you, Karen, Jan. I don't think there's any other questions, so thank you very much for your report and all your work.
Thank you.
All right. All right, next, item B, David Clements, or item C, rather, on the Duma Space Center update.
Okay, good evening, Chair Walsh, council and committee members. Good to see you again. Happy post-4th. Here we go. This is the Dumas Bay update for halfway through the year, and I put together some numbers for you. So year-to-date, at a glance, this is Dumas Bay's revenue through the end of June. For conference and lodging alone, we are sitting just over $265,000. At catering, we're averaging right at now about $88,000. Food and beverage, meaning internal food and beverage offered by Dumas Bay directly, we're sitting at $36,000. And then miscellaneous revenue, this is everything from ticketing fees, equipment fees, staffing, etc., just over $12,000. Total revenue right now, $402,755. I've broken everything down into their specific units, and I took your advice and did a comparison 1-to-1 for last year at this time. For conference and lodging, our monthly average right now is $44,327. You'll notice this is down from last year, and that is because we are actually, unfortunately, without our church group. They departed in January, so we've got a little hole in our revenue there. Last year, we also had 2 very large conferences. They were one-offs, but they were really big bolsters for our revenue. But I'm very comfortable with where we're at right now. Catering, you'll notice, is down quite a bit, but this is actually a really great thing for Dumas Bay, and it's because the internal food and beverage offerings are up in revenue, and that's because we have taken on a bulk of the food delivery service, the food and beverage ourselves, and so you'll see that that is up from last year by about $4,000 a month. And miscellaneous fees, we're sitting just about where we were last year. Looking forward, this is just everything that is currently on our booking calendar. So It's everything that exists right now. It doesn't mean that it's the end-all be-all for where we're going to land at the end of the year. I do expect that we'll receive plenty more leads, bookings, et cetera, by the time December 31 rolls around. So right now, where we're sitting revenue-wise is $477,954. At the end of 2024, this is the year in review, we were at $539,000. So we're collectively about $50,000 short of that. I think that's very much within our reach. I will also say that last year was our highest grossing year to date. So we're pitting ourselves against a good number. I'm hoping to exceed that number. Here is our expenses. So as a heads up, when I was putting together the packet, as usual, it's in advance of when I'm able to get the most recent numbers. My OCD doesn't allow me to come to this meeting and not present what's actually happening right now. So you are going to see a little bit of a difference here. If you'll note on your form, it says through the end of May. This is through the end of June. So expense 100 is specifically our kitchen expenses. Right now, we're averaging around $4,920 a month in kitchen expenses. This is up a little bit from last year. We've actually had some pretty major maintenance on several pieces of equipment. One of my freezers was down, our ice machine, as well as one of our ovens. So this should average out and come down over the course of the remainder of the year. For the Expense 101 account, this is basically general DVC expenses. We're sitting at approximately $15,300 a month, roughly about the same as last year. I will say we've also had some pretty major expenses in this account, one of them being a replacement for one of our mini splits, which heats and cools our largest conference room, the Eagle View room. That was a big chunk of change. So again, I'm hoping that a majority of those larger expenses are behind us, and hopefully throughout the rest of the year, we'll see that monthly average come down a bit. Our expense in 3FT in 352 specifically refers to the Knutson Family Theater. So far, our only expense here, or major expense, has been the addition of a new sound console. And then staffing, you're going to see, is up a bit. I've got a couple of reasons for that. Right now, we're averaging around $24,000 per month. I've absolutely increased my staff wages since last year. I have also needed to staff heavier in the kitchen to offset the demand of our additional food and beverage services. And then I've definitely been staffing the building to do some light repair and maintenance throughout while we've got the opportunity to do that. This is just a general overview of our bookings month by month for this year. As always, I want to clarify, this is not the amount of bookings that have happened. These are the amount of days that that type of booking has occurred. So there can be multiple bookings of the same type, but if it falls on the same day, I just count it as a single day. The last time I saw you was in April, so I'm not going to report on January, February, March, as we would have already gone over that. For April, May, and June, our social meetings, these are things that take place in a single day, business meetings, social occasions, one day off type events. 2 in April, 3 in May, 1 in June. Our retreats are multi-day events, and so this is where we have overnight guests staying with us. We had 18 days collectively in April, 25 in May, and 21 in June. And then finally, usage for the theater. This primarily consists of Center Stage Theater. 28 days in April, 27 days in May, and 26 in June. There are my adorable kitties. And, you know, I report a lot of numbers to you all each time that I see you, and I find that rather boring. I would welcome any questions that you have, but I'd love to tell you more about Dumas Bay and what we do there and what we're able to accomplish there as opposed to a bunch of dollars on a screen. So let me know what you'd like to know.
All right. Thank you, David. Does Susan or Lydia have any questions? I'm not seeing.
I have a question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Susan.
Thanks. So you've been at Dumas Bay now for a few years, right?
Yes, August will be my 3rd year.
And thank you, because I think you've done a lot of good work down there. What is your vision for Dumas Bay? What would you like to see this city accomplish with Dumas Bay?
Dumas Bay is a sleeping giant, and I would love to see it thriving more than it ever has before. I envision it busy. Councilmember Walsh, you asked me what my goal was last year at some point during the budget reporting, and I didn't have an exact number for you. I don't know if I still do, but honestly, I'd love to see the center humming 360 days out of the year. I would love to see more major events like the National Storytelling Network come, and more major events like the Parish Collective. We draw in a really amazing and eclectic and far-reaching crowd of customers, and I'd love to see that expand more and more. The building is getting a lot of major work done and a big facelift, and it's really exciting to see this gym start to really shine again, and I'm very proud of that. I want that to be not only a regionally known center, but I'd love to see this be a nationally known center. We do have people that come from all over the U.S. and actually from around the world. I would love to see Dumas Bay recognized as a major destination for retreats. I would also love to see some really cool acts in the theater.
What kind of work is being done on the theater, on the building?
Well, we've had a lot of repairs to a lot of pieces of equipment, a lot of the equipment in the kitchen. The building has been painted. We're cleaning and organizing and clearing house, so to speak, clearing the clutter. The grounds are being whipped into shape. The hedges are being trimmed, and the lawns, always been mowed, but it's just the attention to detail is being put into the building and the surrounding grounds. And I really hope that that's an obvious thing when people come and visit, is that they're able to see those changes.
All right, thank you. Next, Councilmember McDaniel, but perhaps we can get the camera on David instead of on the kitty cats.
They're so much cuter, though.
I'm not denying that, but, just...
David, if you want to just escape out of your presentation, it should pop back up onto you, under your share screen.
Does that help?
And then click on the Zoom. There you go.
All right, sounds great.
All right.
Right,
Sorry
thank
about
you. All right.
Two things. One, I'll go over numbers first, and then I'll go over the kind of thoughts process you had too. So my first one's going to be on capital. Does your budget have any capital for these replacements for the kitchen or the AC? Where does the money come from to do these if we don't have a capital budget put aside for repairs?
The money technically comes from the revenue we earn.
Okay. Do we have a set part of your budget that's for repairs put aside, or is it always going to come from the revenue?
We have a reserve fund, but John, may I refer to you on that one?
Yeah, Dumas Bay is a true enterprise fund, which means
Okay.
they have to raise all the money that they spend. They have to cover all their expenses. And kudos to David, he has done that in a very good way, including making enough excess in operations to cover some of the major stuff that he's mentioned tonight. The repairs of kitchen equipment has all come out of operations through real money earned by David and his staff.
Gotcha. So do we have, I know we have like the community center and the PAC, do we have funds for those, like capital funds, or is it pretty much all three of those at the moment going to be more that?
The community center is slightly different. The community center is a special revenue fund, slightly different, where there's a planned subsidy for the community center, whereas David has no planned subsidy.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, if the world came to an end and David stopped being a tremendous professional tomorrow, and we weren't doing as well as we are, the city would have to attempt to rescue, but he has done a phenomenal job, he and his staff, and so we're in great shape. But the two are different slightly, whereas the community center has a planned subsidy, and Dumas Bay is a true enterprise fund.
What about the PAC? Is it the same as the community center then?
PAC, no, not really. The PAC is under a management team, so that's our building all the way. We own the building, we own the responsibility of maintaining the building, but we have a very good management group that helps us manage it with their expertise throughout the entertainment industry and the hospitality industry, so they are very helpful, but we need to invest in capital, and you're making all the right noises to make me happy, to talk about capital funding to set aside for these things that we know buildings need to be maintained. And so we do have reserve funds, but they are very restricted, and yet there's an automatic payback on them. And so we try not to get into those. We try to cover it out of operations or any other funding mechanism we might be able to find through grants and things like that.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you for the answer.
You're welcome.
And then back to what you were saying for Dumas Bay, I really do think we have an artist retreat down there, and I would love to be able to see in the future the city be able to capitalize on that by really advertising to the artists to come in there and to create from the beauty they see there. So I imagine you're capable of helping with that dream too, but like you were saying, the vision and stuff, I do think the city of Fedway has a beautiful artist location for tourism, or just coming in here and filling it and creating the beauty that the artists do. So, man, I'm really impressed with what you bring to us, and I appreciate it, so thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Dovey.
Yeah, couple questions. How much do you work with our economic development director? You talk about bringing in different groups and all that. Is this something that's really on the forefront with our economic development group, where we're out talking to Pacific Raceway, for example, and booking, stay at the Dumas Bay Center and get a ticket and packaging them together? Do we do that kind of stuff?
Not currently.
Do we collect hotel motel tax at the Dumas Bay Center?
We do have a lodging tax, yes.
Are you part of the LTAC, or have we ever thought of that? I mean, if we're collecting taxes and it's going to LTAC, shouldn't maybe we have our own representative on the seat?
We do have a representative on the seat.
Well, we have a council person,
Right.
but I'm talking, aren't we a hotel in a sense? We collect LTAC money.
We try not to identify too much as a hotel in order to be a really good neighbor. We're not a hotel. We're a retreat and conference center, and there is a difference between the two.
Right.
And so we don't want to be seen as competition to our hotels, more of a complementary venue. And so with that, but I do like the idea of getting David in a room with Meredith. I'm very impressed with Meredith, and I think she may have some great ideas to help us out.
Well, I mean, it would seem to me you're doing a great job. You're driving numbers. Not enough people know about what we have down there. We got World Cup coming up, we've talked about. I'm bringing up Pacific Raceway because we just gave $75,000 to promote that. And we could do things like tag in, hey, I don't know if you have rooms, but be part of the Federal Way crew. You get fed, we get you there. I mean, there's a lot of things you could do when you have a building that people sleep in, that you can feed them, and it's a beautiful place. So I'm just wondering,
That's a great idea.
if we're thinking that, are we thinking that way, other than, hey, we got a great place, we're part of the Parks and Rec, people like to come here, maybe we need to promote something a little bit more.
It's a good idea. We'll talk with Meredith.
Okay. But thank you for your presentation. It looks good.
Right, Council President Kochmar.
Well, we've talked in the past about redeveloping the whole building down there into a true conference center and a place to stay with rooms with their own bathrooms, not down the hall. But, part of the thing we talked about previously was partnering with a company. And we actually had somebody who was interested, but they ended up doing something in downtown Seattle. But it would be interesting in the future, nothing we could do now, we don't have the money. But we'd certainly like to see in the future redeveloping and being able to build the parking that we're going to need. And I'm pretty sure that Lake Haven would work with us on that, but I think what we really need is to talk to some people in the industry about how to redevelop that whole property, so we can have a plan for the future.
Right, thank you. Councilmember Honda.
Oh, thank you. David, are there any plans to update the rooms and create more bathrooms for them, so that the rooms might have a bathroom attached to them?
So approximately 75% of the overnight rooms at Dumas Bay have a toilet and a sink. What they don't have are wash, shower, bath facilities. Those are all dorm community style facilities. There are private ones, but they are all essentially dormitory style. The other 25% are sink only options. Would that be something that would benefit us ultimately? Absolutely. Who doesn't want their own shower in their room? It would drastically decrease our capacity in order to do something like that. And so there's some benefits, but there's also some considerations that we should make. That's also a massive amount of funding that would be needed for a project like that. It's something that we've talked about with the envelope studies, et cetera. So I do expect that that will be an ongoing conversation.
All right. Councilmember Dovey.
I just have one other question. My wife, for example, loves to go to McMinimum's around Washington and Oregon. And so I get dragged around quite a bit. And most of those places you go that you stay overnight do not have a shower in the room. They have a communal shower place and bathrooms, and they have great restaurants. I don't know, maybe someday we should call McMinimum's. Because the Dumas Bay looks just like the place down in McMinnville. I can't tell you how many I go to. We got the little book where you get the stamp because she likes going to them. But anyway, might be something to think about, because I don't think not having showers in the room is a detriment to a certain class of people.
I have another question.
Go ahead.
How many weddings have we had this year? And when you talk to someone planning a wedding, what is the number one reason that they don't end up coming to Dumas Bay? Because it's such a beautiful location, and I've been to weddings there before. They can be just awesome and beautiful. So what is, when someone says that they're not going to do their wedding there, what is the reason that they give you?
We had a wedding 2 weeks ago. There's one that we're gearing up for this weekend, and there's another one scheduled in September. So that is 3 for this year, off the top of my head. The number one reason I would say is our capacity. Most weddings are more typically than 98 capacity, which is our largest conference space. So capacity is probably the number one reason that somebody would not choose to be at Dumas Bay.
Right. Question for you. How is it being marketed? What are you doing for marketing? Obviously, you've had some success with the marketing, getting all the retreats and everything, but how are you doing that?
We have not probably explored marketing to the best of our ability yet. Most of our marketing is word of mouth and repeat customers, but most of it is word of mouth at this point.
Have you considered making a marketing plan?
Yes, we are working on social media accounts currently, and then we will definitely explore any opportunities to market. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I think that there's a tremendous opportunity with marketing it better. If it's getting as many events without marketing, imagine what it could do with marketing.
If I may, we do still do Google AdWords, right?
I'm not certain on that.
I believe I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. We do Google AdWords, and we've had pretty good success with that for several years.
Uh-huh.
Unless you've stopped, that I don't know about, but we can talk about that later. But we do have an outreach that way, and it's
Okay.
been pretty successful. Most people have reported that they see it.
All right, sounds good. You know, I know a couple of years ago that, that there was up at the Northwest Event Show, that the PAC had a booth there, and then I think that the community center, and was it the community center and Dumas Bay together had a booth? And, you know, I think that there's potential there, but I think that it should be one booth marketing Federal Way and collective between the PAC, the community center, and Dumas Bay, because each of them fill a niche that complement each other. And so if we were able to really do a high quality event that that showed, hey, what's available in Federal Way, because we have a great location, centrally located, and I think that there's a lot of potential there. But instead of marketing the different things separately, if it was marketed as a whole, so those different niches can all be met, I think that there could be some success with that, and then a very professional marketing job. So, all right, Paul, did you have?
Yeah,
yes.
just one quick follow-up. Are you familiar with this location called the Quarter Deck down in Des Moines on the water?
No, I'm not.
All right, I'll shoot you an email if you don't mind taking a look at that and give me if it's a viable possibility for something we could do at Dumas Bay.
It's wonderful.
It's phenomenal, and it has live music. It's got, local drinks. It's a great community gathering. But we have a way better view in my mind. So I'm going to send you a link to it. If you can, in the next meeting, let us know if that's a viable potential option for us. I'd love to hear that.
Great, will do.
Thank
Will
you.
do. Thank you.
Right. All right, hey, thank you for the report. Thank you for the tremendous job that you're doing there. It's Dumas Bay is a gem, a true gem, and thank you for all that you're doing with it. And I don't think we have any more questions for you, so you can enjoy the evening now.
Thank
So-
you all very much. I'll see
All
you
right.
next time around.
All right, thank you. And item D, the PAC operations, that's been postponed until September. Is there any other business for the council?
Yeah, I just want to make two things to kind of let staff know. I've been driving around and I noticed, especially during 4th of July, it seems like we have a homeless encampment that's starting to grow on 330th and 324th, right there at the entrance to the trail, the BPA trail. So I'd like to see someone look at that. And then we also have someone who's decided to turn a piece of property into their own little refuge on 18th Avenue South, behind the Dollar Tree. And I am pretty sure that's not the property they're on. I've heard complaints from other residents. I'll shoot this as an email, but I just wanted to let the city know that there's two different locations that have some issues.
You mind putting the chief of police on that?
I'll do that. Thank you very much.
All right.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead, Susan.
I talked with Mike Park probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he talked about a potential need for emergency funding, about $50,000 for the Hon Marie Park. Has he brought that to staff?
He may be working with the mayor that I'm not privy to at this time, Councilmember.
Okay. I believe they were applying for a grant from someone, but they needed a bridge until they got that grant money.
Again,
Yeah,
Mayor, I'm,
Okay.
don't believe I'm aware of it.
And then my other question is, how is that going? Do you know how many people have visited? And how is the maintenance of the property of the park going? Because I know it's pretty time intensive.
I don't have a number on how many people have visited, but I've talked to a lot of people, and everybody who's been there loves it. I drive by there frequently, even on the weekends, see the parking lot full. I can't guarantee you they're in the garden or they're on the trail, but I believe it's been discovered and people really like it. They love it, actually. They're very impressed. And yes, it is labor intensive, and we are working very hard to make sure that it stays nice.
Oh, I'm sure you are. I'm just thinking, as I talked before, that a volunteer group would be very possible, especially at that location, to keep that area maintained, because it is pretty labor intensive. There's a lot of, it's like someone's beautiful backyard.
Weeding alone is a full-time job, just weeding.
Absolutely.
And we are working, we're exploring different options with different garden clubs, with the Federal Way American Association, to help in an MOU to help, because it is going to be too intense for too long for us to do with our current staffing levels.
Oh, absolutely. And I know people would love to help. That's why I've been asking, because I know people would like to help. And, when people help out in a park, it makes it their park, and they're very protective of it. Also, what are the hours that the gates open?
The park is the same as every other park in Federal Way, so it's dawn to dusk. Those are park hours. Those gates are opened by a private security company. I can't guarantee you the exact time, but they're usually there by 7:30 at the latest. They have a series of locks and gates to unlock throughout Federal Way, so I don't know where that park is within the rotation, but it's open early. And
Okay,
it closes in the evening. And you're absolutely right about ownership. When you get groups in that put in a little sweat equity, they do own the park in a beautiful way, and that stewardship really lends itself to long-term success. So we are working with all of that. And if you have any connections, please email myself or Jason.
Okay, I shall. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. If there's nothing else, our next meeting, we will not have a meeting in August. Our next meeting will be September 9th, right here at 5 o'clock. And with that, we are dismissed, adjourned.